Hitman.
You guys.
Hitman.
Man.
Hitman.
Hitman.
Hitman. Absolution. Sorry, is that the subtitle?
Arnold Hitman.
Arnold Hitman.
Hitman.
That's it's a bold new direction.
Arnold P. Hitman. Esquire.
He is actually a traffic controller, air traffic controller.
He is. With his UPC symbol on the back of his head.
Yes.
His code. No.
Modern Problems. Chevy Chase was an air traffic controller. It was an awesome movie.
What the fuck are you talking about?
You were
Modern
talking
Problems.
Yeah. Do you ever see that one where he got toxic waste on him and he had
What?
superpowers?
No.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure this is a movie you made up.
No. It's called Modern Problems. Chevy
I don't
Chase.
remember.
And
I don't
Bill
remember.
Murray's brother was in it, of course, because he's in every movie that Chevy Chase is in. And he's like behind this. He's like in traffic, and he's behind this toxic waste thing.
Yeah.
And it drips on his car, and he has to like turn on his wipers and stuff. And his air roof is like sunroof's open, air roof.
His
He's
air
got
roof.
an air roof. It's a convertible.
An air-rated roof.
Yes. But and then he gets like these mental powers.
Telekinesis.
Yeah. He's looking it up.
Nice. What year is it from?
1981.
That sounds right.
Is it on Netflix? It was on Netflix.
Oh, I don't know.
Awesome.
I was
It's
5.
got Nell Carter in it.
It's,
Nell Carter.
he's a voodoo.
Give me a break.
She's the voodoo maid.
Oh, of course. How classy.
Oh no, you've got to see it. It's so awesome. She's like the voodoo maid, and she like freaks out because she thinks he has like powers, and she puts like all this weird.
He does have
stuff.
powers.
Yeah, but no, like she thinks
She's right.
Well, you know,
Oh.
things.
It contains Dabney Coleman's only on-screen nude scene.
Yes.
Thank you, IMDb.
Oh,
See his butt.
A, I'm glad it's limited to 1. But B, I don't ever want to see Dabney Coleman naked. I don't even like saying Dabney Coleman's name.
They cut that. He had another nude scene, but they cut it out of Cloak and Dagger. And that was a full frontal.
Well, at least now we know what the dagger was.
Hey.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to Signed In, episode 106. I am Jeremy Superpro 33.
I'm Craig Prop Dresser.
And I'm Sean Shonix.
How are you guys doing?
I think I'm better than your question.
I always do the same thing every show. So I tried to mix it up, and then I can't think fast.
You know what? You really would have thrown me off. You just ignored it and gone on.
If I was just like, so here's the games we have to talk about.
And then I would have been like, I am good. What?
Yeah, and I was like, I'm all right. Well,
You would have revealed we don't listen.
it'd been a hardcore, like just a traffic jam, you know, pile up there.
All right, well, then how
Much
are
like this.
Yeah.
How are you guys doing?
We always end. It's always the end result. Just
a train wreck
bam,
anyway.
bam, there it goes.
So how are you guys doing?
Okay, my semester's done, so that's
Nice.
That's good. I mean, we still have work to do at the end of the semester, but no classes to teach, which frees up a little time to do those other things.
Cool.
Nice.
Like games?
Yeah. Like
So you'll
games.
have like a ton for us.
No, it just finished now.
Oh, it just finished. So next episode you'll have like 15
Exactly.
A digital
I'm
time.
gonna play all the games that came out this year.
games. Fantastic. You're going to fit them all in at the end of the year.
Yeah.
You have that. You still have like 3 weeks to finish Red Dead.
Yeah, exactly.
So is that on your plan?
I'll try that. Yeah.
Awesome.
So I'll spend about 20 minutes a day on each game.
That
I'm
will-
pretty sure that I'll have a pretty accurate description of them.
I think so. You'll at least as good as I do. How are you, Sean?
I'm good. I'm good. I've had a puppy before, but they are.
Is this puppy update?
They are a lot of work.
Puppy watch.
Puppy watch. Yeah. She.
They are a lot of work. Yes.
Yes.
It's almost like a child.
I
you can put in
had-
a cage.
I had one before. And I think now I remember when she was a puppy.
Yeah.
I didn't have an Xbox. I didn't have any kind of game console that took up my time.
Oh, because now you want to like,
and
if you want to sit and play.
I didn't have like a podcasts, like the pull list or signed in.
If you want out of the show,
no,
just say it.
I'm just saying, because now I start thinking back to that time.
Yeah.
Now I remember my comics started stacking up then. I didn't play many games.
So now you have all these other things.
And then I'm like, why is this so hard to juggle time when I've got this puppy? I've done it before. And then I start thinking, I'm like, oh, I never had these other things.
Think about those suckers with real babies.
I know, right?
What a bunch of losers.
But then they got to put them through
What
college.
do they even do?
They listen to us talk about games instead.
Maybe.
Yeah, they wait till they go to bed. I've tried that.
They don't go to bed.
I go to bed and she does not want
Just
to.
remember, at least you can put them in a cage.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's
You can also put children in a cage. I'm just saying there's a time frame that it becomes where they start speaking, and they will tell other people that you put them in a cage.
Right, right.
Daddy
So-
puts me in playpen.
Right, with a door.
And a ceiling.
Yeah, and bars. So, with dogs, you
it
can
present.
continue to do that at least.
Yes.
So you can go to a movie
Yeah.
and things like that. So that's good.
But no, I got some
So you have
games
some
in this. I got
adjustments.
some games in this week, but yeah, that's been kind of how I've been having to adjust.
Gotcha.
I haven't got as much stuff in that I've wanted
I
to
played a
lately,
shit ton
so
of games.
Awesome.
Nice.
No, I played 3 games. 2 of them, a lot of them.
There you go,
So
okay.
that's maybe what I mean.
You had a shit ton of gaming.
Right, a shit ton of gaming. And I think between the last episode and this one, I jumped on Steam
Yes.
finally for the first time, and to play Hotline Miami,
Right.
which I did play,
Good.
and I loved it, and
Excellent.
I think I burned through it in like 3 days.
you did get through it pretty quickly.
But then I got gifted. I appreciate it, but I feel guilty now because I got gifted some other games from some listeners. Our friend Kush sent me a couple,
Yeah,
and I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
"Dude, stop!" Because I feel guilty
Yeah.
and I have shame, so I don't want your gifts. And then I feel like guilty because I don't play them.
Right.
And he's like, "I don't care." I'm like, "But I care." But I appreciate it nonetheless. It's nice.
No,
and then you gifted me a
when I
game.
go shopping for games and it on Steam and it shows you which friends have that game or have played that game, Kush's face appears on a lot of them with no hours next to it. So
So he just has them.
yes.
So he's in the same boat.
Right.
So I shouldn't feel bad.
No, exactly.
And then you gifted me a game.
Yes.
Retro
Rampage.
City Rampage. So I'll shut up about never being able to play it.
Whatever, fuckers. Seriously.
shifts over to Sean now.
This is.
You barely even know the name of it. So.
I know. I never know the name. I don't know the name to anything.
So I have that, which I still haven't gotten to dig into yet, but hopefully over the holiday I will, over our little break. But so yeah, that's kind of a great setup over there.
Yeah.
So it's really nice.
Yeah, I've got a ton of stuff.
And you've been playing lots of that stuff.
I have been playing a lot.
It's good
of
though,
that
right?
stuff. Yeah.
A lot of options.
I like the big reason that I've started getting a little more into PC games is really indie games.
Yeah.
Just because it's a lot easier model for people to release stuff online on the internet than it is to try and do it, say, through Microsoft. I mean, we have the XBLA channel and all of that, but
There's been a predominant shift though too of focus.
and
I think,
all
for
the
some
stuff
people.
there has to be like XNA produced stuff. Am I right?
I think so. Yeah.
And so it's a limited sense over there, and
And if they have problems, if they want to correct things, it's such a process for them
Exactly.
to do all that
That's a
stuff.
huge
like a waiting period for them
Right.
to like every week? Isn't it like a week that they have to wait?
something like that. I don't know exactly.
So even if they notice there's a problem, it still takes them a week plus to fix it, even if they have the fix available.
Right,
So
right.
PC side is just a lot more friendly to those people.
It certainly is, and so there's been you can find a lot of similar games, but then there are also a whole other branch of games, and so
But
doing both allows me to kind of explore both avenues of indie games.
so I did it to basically play Hotline Miami,
Right.
which I loved, even though I don't know what's going on 100% of the time. But we should talk about that sometime.
We should.
Because I don't know what's happening. But I enjoyed it, but it reminded me of why I haven't done that in the past. And it's because when I look at all the other games that are over there, and I'm like, holy shit, look at all this shit I should play. I'm like, I need to shut this down right now.
This is kind of why I've been not playing disc games quite as much. It's
Because you
just,
have all the other stuff.
well, I just don't want to invest like a huge amount of time into one game anymore. I like variety, and I like getting to the end of a story and trying
and
something.
being done with it.
Yeah, well, or feeling like I want to do that again.
And not having to do the grind aspect
Exactly.
of the GTAs
yes, definitely.
or the Borderlands, which I love Borderlands,
Right.
but there's a grind to
Oh
that.
yeah.
That's all it
definitely.
is.
Definitely.
So anyway, So we'll talk about that some other time. Maybe.
Okay,
we'll
sounds good.
We'll try to roll that into the show maybe if it's changing our focus. We can evolve, right?
Yes.
No, we can't.
No.
Probably not.
Not until
Much
you guys
like
buy me a
Pokemon.
computer.
I will. No, yeah, I'll play Retro City Rampage and we can talk about it. And then Sean will be like, "Oh man,
Lucky.
for like 15 minutes."
I will.
I did,
let it
however,
go.
play some Lord of the Rings,
I'm a dick.
Lego Lord of the Rings,
Yes.
Lego Lord of the Rings.
I played a demo for that.
Cool. Well, we'll talk about that. I played a little bit of Hitman, Hitman Absolution,
Yes.
and some Far Cry 3.
Excellent.
That's all I got, though.
For cry.
For Cry 3.
For cry. I'm just doing
You know
that.
how to speak, right? You're going to mash everything together.
I am. That's my stick.
Lego Lorder.
I need like 18 shticks.
Anyway, did you guys already say
use
what
to
you
make
had
a
to
teepee.
talk about, or did I just am I the only one?
I just got a bunch of indie games, and then the Lego Lord of the Rings demo.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm going to
was
follow up on some Cod Blops Deuce, and I got Fur Cray.
For Cry.
For crying out loud.
And I got Pinball FX2
I don't know what that
I
means.
wanted to mention that table too. So Civil War Pinball
okay.
FX table.
Oh, nice.
Because I got to play it. Yeah,
It's hard, right? It's weird, right?
yeah,
We'll talk about it.
we'll talk about it.
Before we get into indie
Stay
games,
tuned.
I did want to mention, because I know some people don't listen all the way to the end or may not get there for weeks. Because I know sometimes you get busy, right? So just at the beginning, I wanted to mention that our scheduling, we will have a show, ideally we'll have a show in the next couple of weeks, in 2 weeks from now, which will be our final for the year.
Right.
And then we're going to go on break for about a month. So we'll be back in mid-January, but in between that time, we will have ideally another episode that is basically looking back at our favorites of 2012 and what we're looking forward to 2013, all that boring stuff we do every year. Not boring.
So send
It'll
in,
be exciting.
Send in stuff.
So yeah, email us at
Awesome
comments.
way to fill in the show.
Email us at comments@signedinpodcast.com. Your choices for your
I think we should do a
favorites
clip show this
of
year.
2012. We could do that. You know, it would be awesome if we did a fake clip show. I would agree with that.
what is
Well,
a
we
fake
ruined-
clip
we
show?
ruined-
Where we
it.
sit here, I know.
ruined it
This is supposed
already.
to. We should pretend. Hey, everybody, plug your ears for like 15 seconds.
No, that'd be awesome.
Where we just record
I got
shit
it now.
and then put
Yeah,
it together.
I figured it out.
Fake clip show, awesome.
Although Angry Craig clip show would be a good one.
Angry Craig clip show would be fantastic.
I don't know if we have enough clips from the year.
You know what? I was
not
going to
a
mention
whole
this
show, but
I was going
you
to mention
know.
this at the end, but I'm going to mention it now because it ties in with that. And we did get an email from one listener, from Paul, or otherwise known as Stinkman, which we talked about on the show before.
No,
Steam friend.
Yes, and so he wrote us with some ideas for some other categories for our best of 2012. Because
excellent.
normally we do,
Right,
the game of the
right.
year, your multiplayer, XBLA, blah, 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 all that other stuff. So one of the awards that he wanted to do, or his favorites, was Angry Craig Award. And it's the game that made you want to do bad things to your Xbox, which... So
Me personally, or
Well,
or does everyone
I
have,
think it's-
have an inner angry Craig?
Right,
Yes.
right. The title is the Angry Craig Award,
Okay,
and
got
it's
it,
just
yeah.
whatever game frustrated
Right. Well,
you
there,
the
we
most.
did have individual questions, I think. Last year, wasn't
Probably.
it?
Yeah.
something like that.
But a couple others he also recommended was Can't Put This Shit Down Award, the game that you put the most hours into, either overall or in a single day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Guilty Pleasure Award, your best quote-unquote bad game.
Right.
That's a good one. I
Well,
like
wasn't
that
that
one.
wasn't that our
Like
50 Cent?
Well,
50 Cent.
That was our surprising game.
That was a surprise game.
Yeah.
I'd say Guilty Pleasure would maybe be like your Transformers Dark of the Moon. Like that.
Don't
best
really feel
bad
like
game.
guilty about it.
Anyway, so cheap shots. The Rinse and Repeat Award, your
Guilty as charged.
your Rinse and Repeat Award, the most playthroughs. And he said he admits that this most likely applies only to Craig.
Well, you guys could count like a full playthrough on something.
That's right. That's
I
right.
reached the end.
That's an achievement. And then he closes out with the Piece of Shit Award, which would be the biggest disappointment, which I think we've done before, but naming it the Piece of Shit Award is a little harsher. It might be more
We
fun.
call it the POS.
The POS Award. That's right. We'll do that. So thanks, Paul, for those suggestions. But if,
I like how your reaction was endearing. Aww.
if you have your...
because POS means so, you know.
We'll be posting the list of the normal awards that we have on our forums, so check that out. Probably our Facebook, everywhere. So check that out. Send us
Billboards.
your suggestions or your picks for those. And if you have any other categories like Paul suggested here, let us know those as well, and we can contribute them on the fly when we're doing the show, which will be fun and interesting.
Yeah.
When we have to think back.
See, I thought you were going to say there's going to be a contest at the end of the show.
There might be a contest at the end of the show. I'll try to... How many...
You guys got games to
How
talk
many
about?
indie games you guys got to talk about? I'll try to figure something out real quick. I'm terrible. Everybody knows this.
This show is half laughing at each other. Oh, all right.
Anyway.
Indie games. I'm going to start us off right with a great timely treat with Halloween Pie.
Oh gosh.
I tried it out. It's 80 Microsoft points from Ingenious Fun.
Came out
Did something get delayed?
The wonderful people who came out with all those bizarre dating sim
Oh,
games.
is it really?
Yeah, with the women whose chests are
Yes.
like twice as
Well,
big
this
as
has
their
a fantastic
heads.
name.
Exactly.
I don't know what's happening.
And so this is a great divergence from their little simulation
They change it
make a
up?
choice thing. This is a bit of a side-scrolling platformer where you play a very buxom woman wearing barely any clothes.
Okay. So that stuck around.
Who is driving along at night, and then a skeleton appears in front of her, and she crashes her car. And then she wanders into the house of this witch who is wearing barely anything with giant breasts. And
There's a theme.
The witch tells you to go get some pumpkins, and that's about as far as I've gotten.
Okay.
And so it's got this Ghosts and Goblins style health clothing system. So
That's kind of backwards, though, because it's, in that kind of instance, the most people that play that game
would want to strip them down.
Right, sorry to class a group of
Exactly.
people, but you want to get her naked.
well, she doesn't get fully naked.
Well, but as close as possible.
Yes.
I'm guessing some of
They
those
should
people.
have did it backwards to where as she got hit, clothes went on
Right.
her.
That's right. That's what they should have done. That's how it should have worked. It really goes into a risk reward kind of situation. Like, I want to look at her half naked, but I might die if I get hit once.
And she throws things. I don't know what they are. Rocks, wadded up panties. It's unclear.
Whatever you want.
Whatever it is, it's one hit to destroy a skeleton or a crow. And so you have to. So these skeletons just emerge out of the ground and come at you, and it boasts that it's random, so it's different every time. And I think that basically means that we didn't bother with placing enemies in particular places, so they're just gonna pop up wherever the fuck they want.
Right.
And this results in some absolutely terrible interaction with the enemies themselves because they can spawn up underneath you like you're just walking. Or what my favorite, and this happened almost every time, is that I had to jump up to a ledge. And so I jumped up there, and as soon as I was in the air and like at the level of the ledge, then a skeleton was appearing at the edge of the ledge where I was landing. And so I couldn't do anything because you can't shoot when you're in the air. I don't. Oh, maybe you can, but you can't. Here's the thing: you can't hit enemies that are on top of you.
Okay.
Like you can only hit them if they're in front of you.
Right.
You can't hit enemies that are on top of you, but if they touch you, you're dead or you get hurt.
Nice.
And so it's kind of impossible to hurt those characters that tend to spawn underneath you. I would recommend not double jumping because you can double jump. And at first I figured out, I'm like, oh, cool. And I was just doing it to be dumb. Don't double jump for no reason because apparently when you go up and move the floor off the screen and you come back down, there's like 4 enemies wandering directly underneath you.
They like respawn there.
I don't know what the fuck was going on because I was way up in the
That
air.
sounds like a
because she's
problem.
got mad air. And yeah, I collected maybe 2 pumpkins, and then you die a lot because it just doesn't work.
So would you recommend it?
No.
You just wanted to talk about it.
I played it.
I get that.
I was looking for some.
I'm in. I fully support that.
Yeah, and they can work on their sound design a little bit too, like the crashing noise for the car.
Not so good.
Because you have to go through that opening sequence every time you restart.
Yeah.
and because I want to get my full 8 minutes out of it.
Right.
I got through 3 playthroughs in 8 minutes.
Wow.
Well, 9 lives. Let me put it that
Okay,
way. I got through 9 lives, and it's the
die a
control.
lot.
Well, here's another issue: is that enemies will drop things. They'll drop gold or clothes, because you can get redressed by either getting clothes out.
Skeletons drop clothes?
Yes.
Okay. Just want to make sure I understood.
Well, they're fashionable. You can either get clothes out of these chests that are lying around, or skeletons will drop them. Here's the fucking thing, though. She puts on, when she puts on the clothes, then she does, this little pose, and then there's, a or something like that to her. And so she freezes. And this happens, I believe, even if you are already clothed. And so if you touch the clothing, you are frozen. Which is bad news if there's a skeleton about 2 inches away from you.
Only you freeze.
Right. Because they're going to be on top of you. And then you're back in that same situation where you can't hit them, but they're constantly hurting you. So yeah,
Seems like maybe the goal is just to get her naked.
That was a little frustrating.
Get her unclothed. So they just want you to get her.
So it lasts a half second because you pretty much spawn.
For some of us, that's all we get.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Half second.
They found the demographic.
That's all it takes.
So there you go.
Lucky ladies.
There you go. I wasn't expecting a lot, but actually the whole control mechanism was just frustrating.
Yeah.
It was really bad.
Cool.
So was it scary?
Cool. A little bit. It was scary. Whenever I thought about the fact that I was playing it, I got a little frightened.
Well, let's move on then.
I didn't even download that one. I stopped at it, and then I'm like, no. I was like, it's late.
Well, it was the fact that it was a platformer. I'm like, they're going into platformers? Okay, I need to try this out.
Ah, Halloween Pie.
Halloween Pie.
With a name like that, where could you go wrong?
What
else
you
we
got, Sean?
I've got Space Crüesaders.
Good umlaut there.
Ooh. It's sold for 80 points from Unfinity Games. It's your regular twin stick shooter type jobby. It's got an totally asteroids vibe to it. And you're protecting these ships. You have like a certain time limit in this sector or quadrant, and you have 4 sectors, which is, the 4 squares of your TV. And you protect this ship and you rescue them. I like the look of it. I thought it was it's just a pretty basic twin stick shooter, top down. A lot of asteroids though, like a lot. Like it felt like you'd get into a mix, and you can pick up shields, but it just seems like just to get across the screen was a lot of like maneuvering. And so if you're into like constantly shooting and being good at that, I think this game's I thought it was really good looking too. The backgrounds were pretty simple, but I like the look of it. And then it's asteroids and you're rescuing ships.
Nice.
I just wish the design was just a little bit better on some of the stuff. Like the ships themselves.
Oh, okay.
Like the look of it.
I think
looks
that was
fantastic.
because I think I looked at the screenshots for it, and I was like, eh.
Yeah, the look. I thought the look. Because it gets all crazy, especially when you're hitting a bunch of them. Because then they get all like fireworks looking when they explode. But I thought that was really that's what pulled me into it. But just getting killed a lot. But I never seemed to like die. Like it never said like, okay, you're done. I kept moving to the next. Yeah. So I don't know if it's just whatever time you get. Well, actually, no.
Oh, so a score grab.
Yeah, it's a score grab. That's right, because there was one time
Do you lose
that
points if you get hurt or something?
I ran out of time before I rescued all the ships. So you have so many ships per. I should have said that at the very beginning.
There you
when
go.
I was describing the game.
Well,
That's
you've
all right.
forgotten it.
But that's how you die. So so that I thought that was neat.
fail.
So yeah, you fail. Yeah, game over when you don't rescue them. And they were like, all those that grandparents and the kids, you didn't save them. It made me
twist the knife in there.
It made me feel bad a little bit because it was the kids, and then they said the grandparents. And I was like, oh hey.
Well, they're already old.
And what are they doing out in space?
And they're already old.
I know,
Space
but what
tour.
are they? Yeah.
You should save them by the youngest first.
Yeah. Or kill them. No.
What?
Wait. What?
You
I
should
think that was
save
out loud.
I forgot what game this is.
So let me get this straight. Nobody loses clothes at any time in this game.
Interest declining.
I was hoping Motley Crue was doing the soundtrack for it. But
I was hoping, I was
That
like
didn't
it would
happen.
be the Aerosmith game.
yeah, something like
That sounds terrible.
I checked out Space Egypt, which was also 80
Yep,
points
I checked
from
that one
We
out
Love
as well.
Hamster Software, which boasts these kind of late Atari level graphics
Yeah,
on it.
I'd say so. Yeah.
And so it's kind of a sequel to the Moon or the Mars Explorer mission, this Discovery. And so you're this Mars rover, and you've discovered these pyramids, and so you're going in to explore these pyramids, but these Martians are coming after you. It's very simple gameplay. It's kind of Pac-Man style movement.
A little bit, yeah.
In that you can push in a direction, and it's not that you have to hold in a direction to keep moving. It's going to keep moving in that direction until it hits a wall. And then you also can fire in 2 directions, in front of you and behind you. And so you have 2 different buttons to do that. And so it's actually a pretty challenging game as the enemies are spawning. And they seem to have different sorts of patterns depending on what type of enemy they are. The little green guys just go on a constant loop of a straight line, basically. But some of the stalkers are going to pursue you and things like that. And so you can pick up little point boosting items along the way. And it's just a very classic arcadey grab and shoot, get to the end style game.
I found myself dying quite a bit.
Me too. I didn't make it past the second level.
Yeah, it was like some of those.
Of course, I was trying to grab everything too,
and that was the problem. It's like because ooh, what's that? Ooh, I can get that, and then you die and you got to start over. So I thought the
enemies are
challenging. The look is what pulled me in at first, and the gameplay was a little. It's a little bit different. Yeah,
it is because the challenge. I mean, it's not like the enemies shoot at you or anything like that. The challenge really is kind of maneuvering around the maze and then timing yourself with the enemies and kind of luring them into places so that you can actually shoot them. Because if they're up or above you, then you can't do anything to them.
Okay,
they got to be in a horizontal line with you, and so it definitely had its challenge to it. But I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I was up against the wall and I was shooting left.
Yeah,
and I was against the left wall, like a left wall. And I'm like, what is it? There's a noise coming from somewhere. I'm like, I know I'm doing something, and then I shot the other. I'm like, oh, sweet. So there's my shot button, and then I'm like, how do I shoot behind me? Yeah, it was a fun getting the gameplay down, but yeah, I liked it. It looked cool.
I went to the menu right away.
Well, that's what you do.
It's true.
That's what you do when you want to know how to play.
Yeah, I just jump on.
Before I even started, actually.
You think you're so much better than everybody else, reading rules. And controls.
Something I have a problem with is still with the indie. I don't know if it's in the XBLA stuff, but in the indie section, when you download the game, you can't go and look at the stuff anymore. Still, they haven't fixed that.
Oh really?
Oh really?
Like you can't if you download the game,
go look at the info.
Go to the overview. It won't show all the other stuff. But if you delete it, it shows it all.
Is this through the marketplace or through your...
I've looked through marketplace and through the games that I've downloaded. I went through both of them today.
Wow.
Because I wanted to look up what this next game, Fun Infused Games, did. The 2D Voxel Madness.
Yeah. I've got some information for it.
Well, I do too. Because I had to delete the game to get it.
See.
We should hook you guys up and you guys could tell each other.
Like Voltron.
But this...
That's what Voltron does, right? They tell each other things?
Yes. It's a study group. They all get. They're like, we got to do the SATs. Like, get my leg.
You form the premise. You form the methods, and I'll form the introduction.
That's exactly right.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So
I know why I hated that cartoon.
And the princess with the references page, right?
That's why I hated that cartoon.
References page. I always forgot that. Always. Because my references were like, I think that happened. So this 2D Voxel Madness, it sold for 80 points from Fun Infused Games.
Correct.
Side-scrolling platformer. And it's pretty much Minecraft, but a 2D side-scroller platform.
Yeah. It is also technically a sequel to Vol Chaos.
Well, yes.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Remember how the hero from Vol Chaos
Yes.
was hunting for gems so he could pay off his mortgage and all that stuff? But he ended up with so many gems that he bought a plot of land in like Nebraska or something.
Plus, that worked out well for him.
Yeah, and so that's where he's out there. That's where he's out there mining and building things.
Nice.
I think it may have been so it was a little easier so he could reuse some sprites. But sorry.
Whatever works.
I understand.
Man. Whatever works.
I understand. There are a lot of new mechanics. This is not Vol Chaos.
No, it's not. It's a lot like Minecraft, except for it seems like the enemies are a lot and out more. They're not more at night. They're out all the time.
Yeah. But you can
avoid them. They're not like chasing you down or trying to get you.
Really.
And there's a whole variety of them. Like the design of them are pretty weird. Like some have a nice
Well, some of them are directly from Vol Chaos. Like the bats and the fireballs and stuff like that, and then the newer ones have a bit of a different finish on them.
Yeah, and that's what. Yeah,
like the ghost thingies.
And I like that look to it. But I just didn't have enough time to just sit there and build stuff.
Yeah, and
I don't know how much you can get. And you have an 8-minute trial, and I believe there's more objects you can get in the game. But at first you just have your mineral type jobbies.
Well, I mean,
you have snow and wood.
You can use. There's a lot of different types of blocks you can use.
Yeah.
Including like bouncing blocks and stuff like that. What you have to do is basically collect pixels, and each block costs a certain number of pixels, and you get pixels by mining.
Mm-hmm.
And as you're mining, you can also find gems and hearts for your health.
Yep.
And you can find these giant ass diamonds as well. And then in the main menu, there's also a store where you can purchase pixels with your gems, I believe, in-game gems.
Okay.
This is not like microtransactions. But then you can also buy a few new types of blocks. He's got some blocks themed to his other games like Hypership Out of Control and Ball Chaos. And then I think you can get a fish instead of the pickaxe if you want. But yeah, I thought it was neat, but I had a hard time getting into Minecraft. I'm one of the few people who have a hard time getting into Minecraft.
I was in the same boat.
And so, I had a lot of fun just running around with my pickaxe constantly going.
Yeah.
And just like going
Making
side to side
until you found a crevice that you fall through.
You fall through and then you fall out of the sky back down. And so that was enjoyable to me, but I wasn't really sure what I was like. Night came at first and then it said something about a curse and I'm like, oh, and so remember my space Minecraft issue where I sealed myself in until I asphyxiated. I immediately sealed up and then I'm like, oh, what's going on? And then nothing really happened. I wasn't quite sure, but
it was like a false fear, maybe.
It goes into like this litho effect. And
it does, yes.
And you just kind of you only have your like center. I'm all right sometimes. I have words right sometimes. But I like that look. I thought for 80, I think the 80 points is what surprised me about it.
Yeah.
I thought that was a really nice. It just seems like it's going to be.
There's a lot you can do.
It could be a huge game for $1 if you're into that kind of thing.
Right.
So you can build some nice.
The building thing is where I fall apart on that stuff.
Right.
Like I just can't put the time into it.
And it seems like that's the crux of the
vision.
game.
Yeah.
To be honest. And so I personally, I'm not going to pick it up personally, but I would have if there had been like maybe a few objectives for me to do if I didn't feel like building.
Sometimes other than building.
Sometimes I can feel like building, but I like to kind of. That's not the only reason I want to go into a game.
Right.
I don't know, but that's me personally.
No, I agree with it because that's how I felt about Minecraft.
Yeah,
I
thought it would have been cool as a level builder, like seeing all those enemies roaming around. I was kind of like, I can build some stairs here,
build your own and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, as a level building tool, I thought it would be very cool. I don't know, maybe not specifically for Vol Chaos, but something like that.
Yeah, it'd be neat to like have that and then just run through like a point A to point B after you build it. Yeah,
be able to set enemies and traps like that.
Yeah,
cool.
I would have enjoyed that a little more, but
you could just like get them all herded into one section and just build big walls, and it'd just be like this monster dungeon. That'd be that's why I'd buy that game. And just
in the beginning, you have like this rock and it's got like a glass front. It's your choice. What you gonna do?
Oh, see, good stuff.
I also checked out Robot Legions, which also sold for 80 points from Dusk and Dawn Interactive. This is a fairly straightforward twin-stick shooter set in the future where they are building robots to fight other robots, and so you're a robot fighting other robots. And it's very much in that sort of Robotron vein where you have kind of a box and they're coming in from the sides, and there's a variety of different kinds. And as you progress through the levels, they introduce more advanced enemies. There's ones that will charge at you and some that produce shields for a short period of time and stuff like that. And then as you destroy them, they drop cash, is what it's called, but they're these little glowing green things. And I don't know, but you pick those up.
It's the future.
It is the future.
That's how cash is.
Aren't those credits? Come on.
No. In the future, the whole credit it collapses and they have to go back to cash, and it's just like hologram.
Do they bring back the gold standard?
I don't know.
No. But you can put it all on a gift certificate on the Wheel of Fortune again.
Excellent. If I could get back to Robot Legions.
Although I tried to play that game and I couldn't. Never mind. Sorry.
Why that porcelain dog?
Robot Legions.
You can use this cash in between levels to purchase upgrades, which include things like armor and shooting rate, but then also like multi-shot and a cash magnet that will draw things towards you. And there was another one that was a little more off the wall, but so it's very straightforward. It boasts some 16-bit style pixel art, which is very nice. And it's what would have been nice is it's good if you're looking for a nice solid twin stick shooter. I highly recommend it. If you're looking for something different in the twin stick shooter genre, I don't know. Give it a try, definitely.
Yeah.
But it would have been cool if like maybe the upgrades would have had like some sort of visual change for the robot.
Oh, okay.
Sure.
Does he just always say the same?
While they're adding, yeah, he does, and while they're adding new enemies, you also get all those old enemies, and they're all pretty similar designs. Sometimes it's hard for me to tell, and I don't really care most of the time. I'm just shooting them.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't.
Yeah.
It's not,
I'm not like,
tactics.
exactly. I mean, there's the shield guys, but really, I'm trying to blast 8 different dudes at the same
So you don't
time, and
care.
so it doesn't. Yeah, it's
like,
not
whatever.
like I have to strategize specifically for them. So it didn't have anything that really, really grabbed me and made me say this is a really unique twin stick shooter. But it was a very solid twin stick shooter. That's for certain.
Awesome.
For only 80 points.
We have more indie. Is
Nope.
that
That's all I
it?
got.
That's
Oh,
all.
we're done.
We are. And
Do we have any? You have your pinball. At least.
Sega.
I didn't play any of the XBLA releases.
Neither did
in
I.
the last 2 weeks.
I want to do some Red Bull speed skating, but I just didn't want to get off the couch.
Oh yeah, sorry, it wasn't all Sega. It was Sega and Kinect games,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's a pretty dry part of the year.
Kinect mini game.
There was a
I know
Lord-
it's like
Lord
all
of
the
the Rings game
XBLA
in there, too.
right? The Lord of the Rings, which I was like, ooh, and then I saw it was just PvP. Or it's multiplayer online battle arena, or MOBA
Yes.
for short,
Sounds great.
which is very popular with a lot of people, but not with me.
Not with me
Nor
either.
with me.
So
I sat through the most of the tutorial.
Did you?
And then I was like, I should be playing something else.
This game is not for me.
Yeah, it was-
I've made a huge mistake.
It was like, and I kept playing. I kept playing. I'm like, why are you still playing? There's nothing's gonna happen that's gonna gonna change how you feel about.
What
this
are you
game.
doing, moron?
Yeah. And then I was like, stop. It worked.
So you did not play it.
No,
Did you play any XBLA?
I did. I played Pinball FX2, the Civil War table
Yes.
from Marvel. I'll just piggyback on what you said from last show, which I forgot. But I really enjoyed the game. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't remember either. Is it that?
No, but you did say it was a pretty hard table.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. It's very tight. It is very tight. And but I found myself having a lot of fun. Like, it's a lot of fun, but it's not forgiving. There's parts in that
Right.
where you're like, there's no way to stop that. I knew where it was going, like, and I lost. I that's what
It's rough. It's the
upset
kind of
me
table where if
most.
you don't make it up a ramp,
Yep.
it's going to probably go down the middle.
Yep,
Because
And
it's
I
just
mean,
how it works.
the ramps are laid out that way. But I just love the feel and the vibe. I dig the updates because you can hear that. I like like the arguments back between. It was better. It made me enjoy the story actually.
The audio stuff?
Like, I was like, wow, this is really. As long as I don't get to the end of this, I'm gonna really enjoy this. But I did. I had a lot of fun with it, and I thought like I got some crazy stuff going on, and
Yeah.
I was just sat there, especially at the very beginning with that multi-ball, which I think is a really weird take.
That's what I'm saying, right? It was weird.
Really, and my high scores that I've gotten haven't been like, I got like 5 million
On
in
that open?
once,
Nice.
and that's not my high score. So I think that is awesome.
It's the risk
about
reward
game.
thing. It's
Yeah.
like, do you want to take this 5 million or do you want to try and get it? Because now that'll be your new
Yeah.
high score if
Well,
you don't.
And most of the time, you can get 5 million off the skill shot right off the bat. So if you get a 5 and
Nice.
5, it's pretty good. You're ahead right there. But other than the table being very tight, which sometimes I don't like, that has kind of dissuaded me on other tables. I think I can't even think of the other one that I think Fantastic Four I have some problems with sometimes. It's a fast table. This one's
fast too.
This one's
yeah.
fast, but the bouncing and it just doesn't forgive. But it's still keeping me playing. I'm still enjoying it. I like it.
Like I said, it was while their other theme tables have been tight as far
Yeah.
as the themes, this one is the tightest
Yes.
because of the fact that they have all that audio and the dialogue and stuff right from the comic book.
Yeah.
And so they're, it's not just a couple one-liners here or there. There's actually like dialogue and discussion and stuff like that. So I mean, it's really, really well represented.
Once you get the layout,
I'm just picturing like this 40-minute cut scene.
There is. It does. It pauses in between.
Is there filibustering?
Yes, they just fill it in.
they like, especially when when the two fight.
Yeah.
I like that little part of it because, like, do you see their silhouettes and everything goes red
Two
and
would be
orange?
Iron Man and
And
Captain
Captain
America,
America.
for those who do not know.
Sorry, alter egos out the window. I'm in first name basis with them. So.
Yes.
But yeah, I recommend the table. I think it's
You're
really
less
good.
than first name. You're like Tony, and then the two of them.
And Steve.
And the other guy,
Steve.
Starman.
That guy with the shield. Shield man.
Shield Man,
Shield wingman.
Shield Man, and Helmet Guy.
But very good.
Excellent.
Cool.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. Is that it for XBLA then?
I made it through episode 2 of Walking Dead.
Oh, we already talked about that like 8 months ago.
I know.
That probably wasn't 8 months ago, but
No, not quite.
so how was it your second playthrough? Was it fun? Still
Good. It's still
the same issue?
it's still a little tainted.
Yeah.
Tainted love.
Yes. But it is also interesting. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I do find tonal differences because I have done a few different things.
Okay.
From the last time, because I know a lot of people are kind of not complaining about the game, but you know they're saying, oh well, it boasts that it changes depending on what you do, but it doesn't really change and
Feigning choice. Yeah, like the illusion of choice.
right. And so yeah, I mean it's not like the plot points massively change,
Right.
But the tone definitely does change quite a bit. For example, I was being in my first playthrough, I was not to get too much into spoilers here, but I was being more ambivalent in terms of who's in charge of. I was playing the middle as I would do in real life, not make a decision by not making a decision. And this time I was siding much more with one side, and so I felt like a lot more hostility from one character, and I felt like I was less on pins and needles with the other character, and so it didn't really change the story. But then when I got to other sorts of decisions, it really kind of was influencing my attitude about those decisions.
Yeah.
Because now I had sort of this different paradigm set up within the group.
Right.
And so I thought that was quite fascinating.
Cool.
But yeah. I've been putting a little space. Well, I put a lot of space here, but it was finals week. What do you expect from me? I'm putting a little space in between the episodes just to kind of, because I think that works really well. I think they're designed to be that way.
Yeah.
And they're designed for that month break because between the episodes, there are generally breaks.
Time passage, yeah.
Yeah, time passage. And so I'm going with that a little bit. But
Cool.
Yep. I'll keep you updated.
I'm looking forward to replaying through it again.
Yeah.
I want to do that.
Me too.
Sit down and do it some weekend.
And be a Dick Lee.
Dick Lee.
I don't be Dick Lee.
Be
I
like,
don't know.
shut up, Charlotte. Carolyn?
Clementine.
Clementine.
What
yeah.
the heck?
Shut your mouth, Clementine.
And then smack her.
Yes.
Do you get an option to smack her?
Be like,
Push her into the zombie.
you people take care of her.
I'm your daddy now, Clementine.
I'm staying in your fucking treehouse, and that's it. Game over.
Get down here. I'm getting up.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
then you rip off the things to climb up it as you go up.
Throw some cans of food at me.
Go get me stuff. You're like my little monkey now. I'll train you to go get me things and then bring them back.
Hey, I don't know if there's zombies in this house. You go on first.
You go look.
I'm gonna die in this tree.
Do you think I can fit through that doggy door? You go down and check. Run fast back if there's anything there.
That'd be the best.
Be sure to
Walking
yell
Dead
if
game
anything
ever.
grabs you.
You just be the terrible person.
So I know that there's things in there.
That's great. Maybe in the next game.
Yeah.
I'll just let you be terrible at evil.
Oh, that would be bad though.
I would like to see a game where it would allow you to like get turned into a zombie like early on, and then you could play the rest of the chapters as a zombie.
Yeah.
How about that? Like that would be different gameplay.
Yeah,
That'd be very different.
That's not going to happen anywhere remote.
slow.
It'd be impossible.
It'd be slow and
That'd be great. The other chapters that you buy, you just sit there on the ground, waiting for people to walk by.
I will do a very, very, very tiny spoiler here.
Okay, do it.
Because this was actually a difference, and it was mostly a tonal thing. But
In episode 2,
it spanned over episode 1 and episode 2.
Okay.
Like it was a connection between
there's
the
been
two.
a long time for that.
And yeah, exactly. And it's not anything plot specific. It's just kind of a little neat element. And there was this one part where we were in a barn and Clementine was commenting on the odor, and then you get a choice about how you're going to describe the odor. And I think I went with something PC or G rated the first time, but then this time I said shit. Kind of accidentally,
Yeah.
Like I kind of just immediately picked it, and then she was like, "You're not supposed to swear." And then like later in episode 2, like Duck is somebody else is mentioning a similar odor, and so she says shit in front of all these people, and they all kind of look at me, and I'm like, Don't say bad words. You shouldn't say words like that.
That's funny.
I know. I was like, whoops.
She learned that from you. Clementine will remember that. Did I tell you that when you said shit?
I don't think it did, which is funny.
Because she didn't say shit for me.
No, me either.
The first time I played,
That's
she
great.
didn't do that.
That's awesome.
I like that. That's the stuff over. Like, that's awesome. That change is great, but that's great.
Yeah. Exactly.
So there's the elements you got to look for.
Right. Exactly.
Cool. All right, let's talk about some disc games then. Or do we have any demos?
How was that pronunciation?
Disc games.
Okay, thank you.
Disc games. Oh, you played the Lego Lord of the Rings, so let's start with that.
I played the demo, correct?
You played the demo
Yes.
of Lego Lord of the Rings. And I don't know how is that how it's going to be? I played it. I don't know what the demo gives you. Is it like a level? Are you in the free, like in the open world?
It's from the second movie.
Okay.
With the siege at the
like the Helm's
keep.
the Helm's Deep thing, or Helm's Keep.
Is that the big? Is that the big war?
I don't remember.
Nerds are freaking out.
I know they are.
It's Helm's Deep.
That's what I said.
I think it is. I don't know.
I don't remember either, though. I think it is. I don't know the movie's too good is the problem. I know I've seen each one once,
Yes.
at least. And I've seen bits and pieces here and there, but I'm not like a huge uber, like Lord of the Rings nerd.
Yeah.
However, I will say that this entry into the Lego games is simply the best one they've ever done, in my opinion. And that's because of the way that they use the source material. And it's for the first time, it's relatively new that they even put the talking or the voices into the game. And then to lift the voices 100% of the dialogue from the movies.
Yeah.
I mean, you're actually working in context of movie dialogue and then having the characters on, the Lego characters on screen reacting to it or saying it.
Right.
It's just so well done because it is a full representation of the movies at that point.
That is true. However, I have to say this one hooked me the least of any Lego game, and for that very same reason.
Really?
Because it didn't feel like it was going to be able to go anywhere interesting. I knew what the next plot point was going to be, and I knew I was just going to have to scramble around and break some Legos and put some stuff together before I can activate the next cutscene. Another part was it was just kind of harder to understand what they were saying. Like I immediately wanted to turn on subtitles, and then I was thinking about the fact that Lego is traditionally seen as an all ages title, and I'm like, ugh, I don't know if kids are going to understand what they're saying.
Yeah, exactly. And I think this is maybe where it's becoming that crux
American
where
kids.
It's
Because they're dumb.
it's obvious.
I was one. I know.
You are one still. So am I.
That's right. I'm actually 8.
It becomes obvious that this is geared towards an older group because of having that actual movie stuff in there. It's not geared towards children,
right?
In my opinion.
And I think that was what kind of made it less of a hook for me because one of the things I like about the Lego games is that they feel like nice gateways into the source material. Like even if you're not very familiar with it, you can kind of get a familiarity with it and an affinity for it as well. But with this one, it really felt like, well, we made this one for the Lord of the Rings fans,
right?
And the rest of you have some fun.
I would agree.
We're going to be over here with these guys.
I would agree with you. I do agree with you on that point. I do think for me, since I'm coming in and want that, like. I think back to the Indiana Jones games, and the I'm trying to think of the other one,
Star Wars,
the Harry Potter.
Pirates
so
of the
when I played and when I played those games, now when I'm playing this Lord of the Rings, I'm like, oh, I wish they all had this dialogue to it, like because I was re-experiencing the movie in Lego form, which was fun to me. But I can see your point of view as well. I definitely see that.
You may have just kind of clarified something. I don't want to re-experience the movie.
Okay.
I want to play a game.
Right.
That's based somewhat on the movie, but I don't want it to be like, here's the movie, now you do the movie. That's right. not. I absolutely do not want to do that.
I get you.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And that was one of the things that hooked me about it. Right. Is that I'm like, this is great.
I'm not saying that's an experience people shouldn't have. I'm just saying for me, that's not something I want.
And then I wonder though too, when you put it in that context, I wonder if I think back on the Indiana Jones one, if they had the dialogue in there, would it lose some of that charm, like you're talking about? They still do the goofy stuff. So in this game, that's what I do like about it, is that they do have the regular movie dialogue going on, but they're still doing their goofy Lego things.
A little bit, but it felt like it was scaled way back.
I don't. Maybe just in the scene that you saw, because
that could be.
I played through the whole thing.
That could be. Plus, it was a very serious battle, and so it was a kind of a weird choice,
right?
Although I think they were trying to show off like
the scope,
the scope of
because
everything.
there is some great technical stuff
and that was
going
pretty
on
good.
in there. with as far as like some sweeping things that happen and like great groups of people, like mass of people that you're kind of fighting through. And so those big battles are really well represented in the game, and they look kind of cool when they're all in that form. But, you know, it's also a little odd that they went super realistic with the world. Yeah. Because it looks great. Right. It does look great. But it's a little odd that the world almost looks like you're walking around in Skyrim. Right. And then they have Legos thrown into it. So it's kind of cool. Yeah. But it's also a little odd. So, but I liked it. I liked walking around in the big, like, open world that they have. I really like that part of the game, actually, that, you know, it is a little more linear.
Yeah, it definitely felt more on rails.
It's back to the on rails, which I liked because I kind of didn't like that about was it Batman 2? That was the open world was there, but there's something that felt weird.
I mean, even more so than any of the other games, because like I didn't really feel like there was a need for me to explore, like to find hidden things in each of the levels or anything. At least in the demo. Okay. Are there hidden things in the levels?
There are. Okay. There's actually more now than there ever has been before. Okay. Because there's the mini kits that you can find. Sure. There's also objects in each level. So each level has 3 objects that you find. Sure. And there's little mini missions that are in the open world where people are looking for objects. Right. And there's like 60 of them or whatever there is.
And so I think
there's tons of them.
This may actually ironically be because in the older Lego games there's a little less of a plot drive. It's more about sort of just exploration and you know, playing the game for fun, whereas this one feels much more like move the plot forward.
It is when you're doing those missions, and then when you get in the open world, there's so much stuff. So
there is an open world.
There is an open world between these missions, and it's huge.
Oh, okay.
And you're going around, and that's what's really awesome about the game for me, or one of the aspects.
It's pretty sad that wasn't kind of shown in the demo.
Yes, that's why I was wondering how the demo framed everything, because if they don't give you the open world to even see, because you can walk around the entirety of Middle Earth, it looks big, but it's when you're actually in the game doing it, it's not very far.
That's too bad.
Well, it is still pretty big, though.
Sean wants to get lost.
You can fast travel.
Sean wants to not finish the game.
Yeah.
There are these.
Those guys walked for a long time.
There's map stones. There's these map stones you can find and activate, and once you do that, it opens or it shows you on your map. It populates with all the things that are hidden in that area. So, like the quests, there's mithril blocks that you find that you have to make mithril objects with, which also you have to give to other people. But then, this is one thing that's different about the game is that those objects that you find in the levels that I was talking about and those mithril objects that you make, you can then have any character use them with your like backpack toolbox thing that you have. So if you have a character who needs, like only one character can fish. Right. Yeah. But if you get the mithril fishing rod, now anybody can use it. So you can don't have to switch to a guy who has to use this thing for this object. So it's kind of neat that you can have like your guy who's an archer who can jump high also use the rope. Right. You know, if you happen to have it and you can make it. So
that's cool.
That's a really neat aspect. Yeah. They also really upped the amount of people you can control at one time. Because there was a couple different levels that I was walking through that I was all 9 people. Wow. And so you have a whole... And that was awesome looking. When you're all like...
How was it trying to get to the one character that you needed to do that one objective, though?
Well, what you had to do was hold down the Y button so you can select it on the wheel.
That's right.
However...
I don't think the demo...
It was kind of finicky because I would sometimes go to hold it down and it would switch to a guy.
Oh my fucking God.
Jesus. So I had to like get away from people so I could fucking like hold it down and select somebody. So once in a while that got annoying. Okay. You know, when you had a group of people.
That reminds me of a GTA rant.
Can you save it for after this?
Of course. That's why I'm not going into
I want to hear it,
though. Go ahead.
So, you know, when you had the first fellowship, when they all form up, and the 9 of them are all walking, and I think I had, like, tweeted out a picture of that, because it was awesome looking. Cool. You had your, like, line of 9 guys, and they're all just walking, and you're controlling them all, and you stop, and they're all, like, huddled around you, and just look cool.
Nice.
So, it was awesome. I love the open world aspect of it. It was a lot of fun, you know, like you were talking about, the, like, exploring thing. That's where that really kicks in.
Yeah,
is in between those levels.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so you're running around, and there's tons of hidden shit in the world that, you know, I didn't worry about until I got done with the game. Right. I kind of made sure I moved forward because I did finish all 3 movies. Yeah. And then once you have everybody or kind of have more people, you can then start unlocking some of this other stuff because you'd run into things that you couldn't use yet because you couldn't just choose anybody you wanted. Right. But once you finish the game, you can play the open world in a free play mode as well. So you can just keep changing your guys or whatever. The scope is just huge in some of those areas. I didn't enjoy the 3rd movie as much. I kind of actually felt that it was kind of downhill, where I really, really liked the representation at the beginning of the game. And so the first movie, second movie were all really good, some cool moments. And then the third movie just seemed, and I don't remember if that was my experience with the movie in general, but it just seemed like there was a lot less to do. They were a lot more focused on bigger fights and battles, and those were not fun. And I like looked at those levels, and I'm like, I don't even want to replay through this level to get all this stuff. You know, like it just wouldn't be fun because I don't have to do this part again. You know, these big battles. So that left a little bit desired for me. But other than that, it was a huge game. I played through it all. I still didn't get to finish out 100%.
Right.
I think I only got to like 50 or 60% because there's so much shit to find.
Yeah.
I mean, there are so many objects to find, 3 in each level, and the other stuff on top of it that you build, that you have to find the blocks to then go build the things to give to the people.
Right.
And it's all these chase quests.
So to all those people who say that every Lego game is exactly the same, would you say that this is the one where they're really changing things up?
No.
No?
They're changing things up in the way that the game is played as far as the design and like the presentation.
Yeah.
But the game play is still the same.
Okay.
You know, you go through the level, you break bricks, you build things, you change to this guy who can crawl through a hole. Right. It's all the same.
Okay.
So that dynamic stays the same, but the presentation is definitely stepped up in my opinion. Even with the way that the stuff looks. I mean, the scope of just being in the world and like being up on a mountain and looking out and seeing the land, and the draw distance isn't huge.
Right.
But you're still playing a Lego game. So you're a Lego guy looking out, you know, off of this tower, and you can see like the whole lay of the land and everything. It's kind of cool. I thought it was really neat looking. So I highly recommend it if you are a Lego or a Lord of the Rings fan.
Yes.
If you
I
are
think that's the primary target.
a big fan of those movies, this is a fun way to re-experience them, in my opinion. Also, if you like the Lego games, then it's a shoe-in. So.
With that mention of the open world stuff, that solved a lot of the issues that I was having. No, seriously, it just felt very constrained. I'm like, well, this is a great representation of Lord of the Rings, but as a Lego game, it left me with stuff to be desired.
Yeah, and like you were talking about, you do
sounds like that's in other places.
You do like it to the point where I felt like I was on rails for a while, and I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna fuck around and walk around this area and kind of see the stuff, and so it was a nice break.
That's what I like.
Yeah,
to be able to do that when I want.
And it was more fun for me in here than it was in Batman 2.
Really,
like trying to get around that city and like driving around. I don't know. There was just something that wasn't fun about that for me.
Turn into Superman.
Well, see, and then I turned into Superman, and then I would just fly around all the time and do nothing else. Okay.
That's what I did.
I need to finish that game still.
What?
I know.
What?
I own it, though.
Finish the plot or complete it all?
Finish the plot.
Oh, my God.
Dude.
Plot.
And then it's like, so I said all this.
Fizz.
I shouldn't have bought it. I should have just rented it, and then I would have finished it. But I bought it like an idiot, and so then I'm like, I can play it anytime, which means I play it never. What is your GTA rant? I want to know.
Oh, you were reminding me about sharing buttons to do things, with the difference being holding down versus minor press. So I it's well documented my rage against driving all over that damn city.
I think that we've heard about that. Yeah,
I think so. And so after a short time, it became my modus operandi to take a taxi to every location that I wanted to go to. Yes. Besides the ones where they forced me, they're like, "No, you got to drive" or something like that. And so who the fuck made the get into the cab to ride it as a passenger and the steal the cab so that it can never be ridden in the same button? With the difference being holding it down, except it doesn't always work.
Yeah.
Like, I'll be like mashing. Like, this is how I can always tell things. My thumb will hurt after a while when I know that controls are not working properly. That's my key. And so, you know, my thumb, I would be mashing the Y down, holding it down. So I'm like, don't steal this taxi. We need to go somewhere. And I want to ride in the back and fast travel.
And then you go up and carjack him.
And then he carjacks him in front of like 3 police officers.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, there's that mission done.
Then
Let's restart.
Then you just get in that taxi and take off and go to your destination.
No, I'm not driving. Because now I've got cops after me. So then I have to like dodge them.
Yeah, that'll give you something to do. Lose them and then get to your thing.
That's what I need, is something to do.
I'm trying to help.
It was so fucking asinine. Or at least make the carjacking the longer press.
Yeah, so like if you accidentally bump it...
Because what's the more serious offense? Accidentally getting into a taxi cab to ride as a passenger, or stealing a cab?
Doesn't that tell you the tone of the game?
But then
I know,
the
right?
direction of the game.
I know. You had to hold the yellow button down if you want to steal a car.
No, just for taxis.
I know, but
It's not like it's not like I have to hold down it's not like I can hold down the Y button and get into the back of a taxi or a back of a regular car. That would be pretty fun though, actually. Just like get in with like some soccer mom in the front, and I'm like, could you drop me off somewhere?
It'd be great if you could get in the back and just carjack it without having to.
But
throw
it
them
would cost like hundreds of dollars or something like that to drive there. Like you would bribe them.
No, you should point your gun at their head.
Yeah.
You carjack them from the back seat.
Of course, you guys go that route.
Well,
you got to think in terms of the game.
well, then they don't get out of the car.
I'm throwing my part of my $800,000 that I have sitting in a pile of my apartment.
Wouldn't you rather just keep a? Yeah, I guess you're right. You get a lot of money. Might as well take a cab.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just thinking that they could work that in where you could get in the back of just a passenger car.
As an option.
And then you won't
instead of
break
having to
the
drive.
window, and you won't even kill the person. But
just-
then they got to give the option that they can shoot you back,
No,
like turn a gun on you.
no.
But it was just constant. It was just very irritating because I was trying my best to not be disruptive to the world, and it was being disruptive to my goals. Because it's like, you just tap that, right? That's what you? No. Okay. Well, you probably want to jack it. No,
I don't.
That is the opposite of what I want to do. You have now fucked up everything, and now I have to start over again, so many times.
Well, I'm going to talk about some Hitman Absolution.
Okay.
I don't know. First off, it's been a long time since I played a Hitman game. I remember playing them on PS2 quite a bit, and I did not play. I think it was Blood Money was the last one. I'm trying to remember if I played that or not. It was a long time ago.
The more often we say the word Hitman, the more it feels like the word Pac-Man to me. So it doesn't feel like this is like a profession or anything. It feels like it's like some arcade side-scrolling thing that we're talking about.
Have I
who
diluted
has like a big hammer or something like that?
It's been diluted.
Things? Yeah, basically.
Do you want me to call it something else?
No, it's okay.
I'll try to do that.
No,
it means nothing anymore.
HM.
No, I'm just carjacking people. We've all lost our moral compass. So it's been a long time since I played, but I remember playing them and them being very meticulous as far as like, you set up this whole thing, you got to go in and do this certain path, and there were multiple options, but you kind of got to the point where you could fuck yourself.
Right.
A lot of times.
Yeah, that's what I
think
heard.
that's maybe the case with this one, but it feels a little less stringent as far as like, you being tied into this specific path or having lots of options, but being able to get out of things too. I also don't know if it's
the big gunfight is often a way out, is from what I heard.
Yeah. And it's not necessarily, before it would be kind of where if you would alert somebody, you're fucked. You're going to have a gunfight and that's it.
Right.
Now it seems like you can take a guy out. If you get caught, you can stop that guy from getting you.
Okay.
You are going through levels. There's different stages. I think there's like 20 stages in the game, levels that you go through. And I played, I don't know, a handful of them. I kind of got to the point where I was like, this game isn't for me.
Yeah.
And what I ran into is that I think I could play through the game once. I'm not a guy who likes to replay a lot of stuff. It seems like this game is really driven for you to want to replay levels multiple times and do different things. They give you, at the end of each level, they kind of give you a ranking, a score.
Sure.
That's throwing you up against the people like on the world level, but also on your friends list and telling you how you compare. But there's all these other things you can unlock during the level. So if you got these certain items or did this certain thing or did these things, you unlock these other bonuses that give you additional, it's almost like raising your skill levels as you do them. So it's like at the end of every level, there'll be 60 or 70 different things that you could have done in the level.
Yeah.
And I'll maybe have done like 5. Yeah. So obviously the intent is keep replaying this. And now instead of doing that, do this.
Yeah.
And that just doesn't like, for some people, I get how that's fun. It's for me, I just want to experience it. And probably just because I have so many other things I want to spend my time on as well.
Yeah.
But gameplay wise, it's pretty fantastic. I mean, it looks great. It's a lot of fun. They did a lot of good stuff with like being able to go into auto cover now, which before you kind of just had to move around and kind of like hide and hope you were hidden.
Yeah.
This is almost like a snap on cover where you walk up to things and you kind of just snap onto it and you can get around it that way. Your instinct is really well done, which I think before they had mini maps that you could use or a map that kind of showed you things. Now with your, I think it's your bumper button that activates it, but you go into this instinct mode that kind of like makes everything black and white or kind of a yellowish tinge to it. And you see like paths that people are walking, you see where they're looking. It just gives you your intuition. So you can see things that you can interact with. They kind of glow this gold color. So it highlights things that are in the area. And you can continually use that but there are things that will make that run down. So like if you're wearing a disguise, because you can, you know, put on different disguises, but if you walk by people who are also that type of person, they're more likely to recognize you as being somebody who shouldn't be there. Also because you have your bald head, so sometimes that sticks out. Sometimes they have a hat, so that makes more sense. But when you don't, it's like, you should know that guy's not
Doesn't have a variety of wigs.
No, he doesn't. He pulls out a whole like outfit. But you can do this.
A toupee coat.
Yeah, he opens it up like a trench coat, and it's all like a bunch of wigs.
He's got a big briefcase. It like unfolds and like has like this shelf here.
But there's this blend
of toupee.
There's this blend system.
Just a toupee on top of a perfectly bald head.
It's like a yarmulke almost.
Basically.
There's this blend thing that you can option you can do. So when you go by somebody who's recognizing you, you can go into that instinct mode, and your meter kind of.
Don't you cover your face?
You do. You kind of put your hand up like you're almost like you're itching or whatever. So that makes sense. Right, you look down and so while you're walking by them, but it will deplete your meter, which will refill over time. Well, actually, it depends on the difficulty level you play.
Yeah,
because if you play on easy or normal, that does refill, I believe. But you can play all the way up to like expert or professional, which professional gives rid of all the hints. It doesn't tell you anything. You just go in, you don't get any instinct, or you get your instinct, but it never replenishes. So you just have your one use of it. And so that mode seems insane. I don't know why you want to play that mode, but there's people that like that stuff. So this one, you know, you have a limited use, but you do build it up by like taking other guys out or doing things, and so it'll replenish. But that's kind of a neat system as far as you're not just putting on a disguise and now you can run everywhere.
Yeah.
You still have to watch out for specific people or specific things. So,
you're just not an empty cardboard box, like in the middle of everywhere.
Like walking around in the box. That was funny back in the Lego game with he has his cloak of invisibility.
Yeah, that was.
And when he puts that in cloak of invisibility on, he becomes one of the bushes, like the Lego bushes.
Awesome.
And so then he's walking around with that Lego bush on. So that's funny. Also, I should never say Lego bush again.
No.
I don't know what that is, but it sounds terrible.
It's a Lego bush.
All right, so back to Hitman.
Minifig of a former president?
Yes, I think that's the way to say it. Yes. I also really like in the game there's this precision shot where if you target a guy, you normally in a
Shoot
game
very precisely.
Yeah, so how it works though is that you lightly squeeze the trigger and you kind of center your shot a little bit. So it'll snap onto the guy, but if you lightly squeeze it,
I see.
It like centers on his head, for instance. Yeah,
Nice.
which is awesome.
Nice.
So I really like that because it felt really natural as far as what you would do, squeeze, you know, kind of just focusing, as opposed to like where you would normally hit a button and like, you know, take your breath and hold your breath so you can like aim. It felt a lot smarter to like have it on the trigger and just slowly do it and then like have it tighten in a little bit. So it was really neat.
It was more about timing than it was just button pressing.
Yeah, exactly. So that was really nice. I know that there's like this contract option in the game. I didn't mess around with it at all, where you can go through and make levels almost, where you set up the way things are, and then you can play that, or you can share them with friends or play other friends as things. And there's this contract mode where it's basically just a score based thing where you go through and try to get the highest score possible, but you can set up like where things are at and things like
That's
that.
pretty cool.
I didn't do any of that stuff though, but I know that it's been pretty touted by a lot of people who do that multiplayer stuff or the online stuff aspect of it. I had fun with it. I really like the openness of being able to do whatever you want in those levels and be as clean or as dirty as possible, as far as I'm going to take everybody out, or I'm going to lure people around, or I'm going to try and get through without taking anybody out.
Yeah.
It looks fantastic. I will want to maybe down the road spend some time with it, just playing through to finish it. Lego Lord of the Rings took all my time though, unfortunately. I couldn't get out of it. Like I'm like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
But it's a Lego game.
I've heard a lot of
seriously.
good things
Grow
on this game, on this
The Hitman?
Hitman. But yeah, a lot of what people have been saying is just the replayability, and then I'm just like, it's not, that doesn't sell me on it.
I know.
But everybody I've talked to is enjoying it.
I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, I just got to play something next.
It's funny because I mean it goes to the same thing you were talking about before though, with like playing those Steam games.
Yeah.
And like wanting a finite end to it, and being able to play that experience, and that's kind of how I feel with this game.
Yeah,
I would want like the finite experience. I don't know if I want to go through and like, I'm going to do it a different way now. But I get why people like that.
Well, yeah, I guess I do like that finite experience, but I do, I'm well known for wanting to replay things as well, and I think that's another reason why I gravitate more towards small chunk games rather than long form games.
Yeah.
Because it'll take all the time from you.
Right. Well, I have a better chance of being able to do that if I want, because sometimes
multiple times.
To play multiple times, because
You're not gonna sit and play Borderlands with all 4 classes.
Sometimes if I'm like, oh, it'd be awesome to replay this, but it's like such a chore to get, not a chore, but it takes so long to get through.
Right.
And then I'm like, there's no way that's gonna happen, and then I get disappointed. You know.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, it would be awesome, but
Like, oh, I'm gonna play a different Skyrim guy.
yeah.
For another 150 hours.
Ugh.
No, that's not happening ever. I remember now. It would be cool to be that guy. I'm never going to do it.
I could do that with Fallout. I did that with Fallout 3. I had 3
Oh,
characters.
that's right.
on
You play
Fallout
different
3.
guys.
But,
How'd that work
But
out?
Skyrim, good.
So you
I
spent all
played
that
through
time?
to the end. I played
Wow.
all the DLC with each one. I got them all up to max levels.
That's crazy. That's a lot of time.
There you go.
What the hell did we talk about on the shows back then? No games, I guess.
I don't think I talked
Really
much
excited
about
that.
it.
No?
No.
It's its own little secret.
But anyway, Hitman Absolution, a lot of folks have been in love with it. I really like how it looks. I liked how it played. I just don't know that it's for me because of the way that it obviously is driving.
Yeah.
It wants you to play multiple times, and
Yeah.
I'm not into that. So, How about some Far Cry 3?
For Cray. How about some COD blops?
Oh, that's right. You have that to touch back.
little
We should have done that. Sorry.
Revisit the COD blops, dudes. I finished out the game. And I'd like to sit down and play some more because I don't pay attention to any kind of, anything. I play the game. I enjoy the game.
By the way.
Yeah, exactly. But no, what I don't. I'm like,
I don't pay attention to anything.
I don't look at stuff online. I don't go and search out.
I thought you meant in the
story.
game, like you.
So I play the game and I like the ending. I have a lot of fun with it. And then I talk to other people and there's like some things in this game that if I thought they were part of the gameplay. I didn't know that if I would have done this differently, it would have had a different ending to the game, which I thought was fantastic and made me go, wait a minute. Now I want to go back and relive this, play this game a little bit more because I thought it was part of the story. Like these were parts of the story. I didn't think that they would have such a changing of what was going to happen.
What did you think though when you got to those situations where it gave you a choice to do this or this? Did you think that no matter what you picked, it was going to do the same thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because a lot of games are that way.
The illusion of choice, like we talked about earlier.
Exactly. Right. And I didn't feel like it was going to it might change up something down the road. But at the same time, when I'm playing the game out, I'm like, well, it wouldn't really mattered at this time, you know? Right. So I'm thinking this doesn't have, it didn't have a big, a drastic change to it. But then I talked to other people and they had different endings and it's like, man, this is cool. I was like, I didn't know that, I thought me failing was part of the game, but I guess I'm a failure like 3 or 4 different times. But as the story went, I thought the story was fantastic. I love this. I love that villain. Even delving back into his backstory a little bit more.
Am I going to be confused if I didn't finish the first COD blops?
No,
because I heard it's a bit of a continuation.
It is a little bit.
But I think
know what you might want to do is read on Wikipedia quick.
Yeah,
okay,
probably like a paragraph, and just like summarize what happened in that story. Just because they do delve a little bit into it, so you might want to know.
Okay,
but it's not drastic.
Sorry.
And then when they say even when they say like a bad guy like that's so and so, where's he been? You kind of know. Oh well, he must be something.
Sure, right.
And I thought they did a really good job of that. But I thought the end levels were done really well. There's a couple surprise parts to it where I didn't know I was going to play as certain characters, which I thought was really neat.
Yeah.
But as the story goes, I've been blown away by these Black Ops games. I mean, well, this is the second one, but. I've dug the story, I've dug the gameplay, I love how it mixes it up, and it's just, to me, it's not like the Call of Duty that I was so afraid to play, and I didn't like playing. This one is just so fun and over the top.
They do lots of fun stuff.
It's very movie-esque, and, it has that scope, blockbuster scope, and it delivered with this one, so I liked it.
Excellent.
Yeah. Just a quick thing, we were talking about illusion of choice before.
Yes.
What would be awesome is if you did have a choice, but it felt like it was only illusion of choice, because like if in season 2 of The Walking Dead, every decision you make just they are like, no, that's the wrong decision, but it's like different outcomes.
Yeah.
But it's just like you constantly feel like you're fucking things up.
That'd be great
because they are undermining every one of your decisions. Nope. Now this person dies. Way to go.
But either way you do it, somebody's gonna die.
But not in that sort of like like because they had a few of those choices in the in the first season of The Walking Dead, where it's like you pretty much know you're only going to be able to save one person or something like that. But here it would be like, you can do this thing that looks completely safe, or this thing that looks like it's going to put somebody else in danger. I'm going to do this safe thing. Nope, that person dies. Well, I'm going to do this thing where it puts them in danger. No, now the house explodes or something like that.
Everybody dies.
Yes.
And that's when you get turned into a zombie.
Yes. And then you lay down for 4 more episodes.
And then they just port Stubbs the zombie into the game.
That sounds terrible.
What?
Now we get to talk about some Far Cry 3?
Yes.
For Cry.
And you played a little bit of it, Sean?
Yes.
I played a lot of it, and I want to play a lot more.
I've read a lot about it.
I'm loving this game. I'm loving it. From the beginning...
Did we pick up a McDonald's sponsorship?
I'm loving it.
No, I didn't sing it. Now Sean did. See what you've done?
Dang.
You've ruined everything. I loved it from the opening.
Yeah.
I was immediately hooked. I think it's a brilliant open.
It's a great open.
It feels very movie-esque. I feel like I'm watching a movie. I feel like I'm playing a Bourne Identity movie.
Oh, yeah.
A Jason Bourne movie. In some of the things that I've done in the game. It's been crazy. It's just been an insane action adventure. I know they bill it as a shooter, like more of the Call of Duty shooter style game, and there is that. It does feel like that in some aspects, but it's so action adventure that I'm having a blast with it. And the open world that you're on this island, because you're basically these rich friends, like these spoiled friends that are from like California down in this island area.
Yeah,
and Rook Islands, yes. And so you're partying and they're vacationing, and things go bad because they get kidnapped or taken by these pirates, not the yo-ho pirates, like the I'm fucking kill you pirates.
Yeah.
And so
those yo-ho pirates would have killed you too.
They would have, but it would have been more fun.
They've been glorified.
They
They would have drank some rum and had a song first.
Right.
And they would have done it in a stylish way.
And then you'd been like,
There would have been some swashbuckling, probably.
I'm safe. And then they would have cut your throat.
As opposed to this guy who's fucking nuts.
Yeah.
Which the voice acting is really well done. It does feel very movie-esque, even in those aspects. I like the voice acting and the characters of everybody that's in this game except the guy you play.
Yeah.
I don't like him at all. I don't know why that is. His voice acting is terrible, and I think it's supposed to be because he's, doesn't know what's going on and is all green. And it's changing a little bit now because he is evolving.
Yeah.
My character is evolving as I'm going on with the gameplay.
Tail.
He might be. I can't see because it's first person, and I can't turn
around really fast.
I can't.
Just go spinning. Maybe it's a long tail.
I should. I try.
Keep going.
There's a lot of times where I wanted to look behind me in this game, but I didn't.
Yeah, that's what I love about the opening. They immediately put you into this panic situation where you feel like you have to move forward, and I want to look behind me to see what's happening, but I don't. And so that was great because I was totally thrown in this scenario of don't look behind you, and I didn't because I'm like, I don't got time for that. So it's brilliantly done. I'm enjoying it a lot. The first person shooting aspect of it has been a blast for me. I immediately went, I don't know how you can play this game without a sniper rifle, so I immediately went to that. Because you do have lots of areas that you're kind of moving up on slowly.
Sure. And
the open world that you're walking around in, this jungle area, these islands, is just beautiful. It's stunning looking.
It's very good looking.
The load times you have when you go to different areas when you fast travel, like if you're somewhere in the middle of the open world and you want to fast travel, there's tons of areas that you can fast travel to. Anywhere that you've, like these army sites or I'm trying to think, not the army, but the pirate militia groups that are in these areas, if you clear and like liberate those areas, and the islanders take it over kind of, and now you can fast travel to any of those spots. But when you fast travel, there is a loading screen, but other than that, there's no loading in the game that I've noticed. And it's been crazy because you're just walking around this huge island. You'll have the transition of night and day. You'll have weather transition. The stuff looks beautiful. Like, it is just insane looking.
Yeah.
I've loved it so far.
This was the game where, and I've seen some people like tweet and post, and I didn't put two and two together, and I'm like going through the woods and stuff. I'm going through the jungle, and I'm being all, and I hear a snake, and I'm like, shit, this is the game that has wild animals in it. And then that's when I got bit, and I'm like, son of a bitch. And I'm like, now I gotta like worry about other things in a first-person shooter.
The indigenous wildlife that's on the island is awesome. Like, it is so great. I was trying to, you go through the jungle, and you're, at first, there's this whole crafting aspect to the game as well, where you can make, like shots of things that are like health bonus or like, a health refill. There's other boosts you can give yourself. But you can also craft objects like a bigger backpack and a bigger wallet to carry more money. And so I'm looking at all this stuff and I'm like, I'm not going to worry about any of this shit. Seriously. Like, I'm not going to worry about crafting because you have to kill the animals and skin them and then use that skin to create stuff. Like, I'm not even bothered with it. And then I'm like, why can my sniper rifle only have 5 bullets? Like, oh, you can get a bigger ammo pouch with a goat skin? Where are them fucking goats at? And so then once that started, like all of a sudden now I'm like, I'm killing all these animals and making bigger things. But now I need a shark skin for my ammo or whatever it is, and I don't know how I'm going to get that because there's sharks around, but I don't know how to kill them yet.
Well,
shoot them.
But I'm on a jet ski like fucking Kenny Powers out on the fucking ocean. It's awesome. The vehicles are awesome too. Like I love that they're just all over the place and you can take them and ride around in them. But I'm on this jet ski and I'll see a shark and I'm like I'll jump in the water and maybe try to like if if it attacks me, maybe I can kill it that way because that's what you do with like alligators. But it bit me and then swam away, and I didn't get an option to like attack it. So I don't know what I need to do. If I need to like see it from afar and shoot it, I don't know. I don't know what to do because I can't shoot it while I'm on the jet ski.
Oh, you can't?
No, because you can't. Like if you get off the jet ski, you just jump in the water.
Are there boats?
There's other boats you have, but I don't know if you like can not drive them and just stand there. I don't remember. I'll have to check it out. I'm looking into it.
That's very GTA.
It is
because you would have a jet ski. You would jump off a boat. You should be able to stand in. You should be able to.
You should
because the driving's a lot like GTA, a little bit.
It's pretty bad.
It was driving me nuts.
It's rough, but I'm also just driving through the jungle. So
freaking hate the camera on it.
Yeah, it gets a little hard.
Well, because you get the left side of the driver, you know. So it's like that cuts you off. It's just they don't need to do that.
Your scope is a little limited.
I don't need to see through the windshield. I know I'm driving a car when I get in a car.
Is there an adjustable camera for it?
I
don't think so.
I don't think so because I think all those buttons are taken.
Like the back button?
I will tell you what's awesome is that I had those where I was driving along, and this is more of that realism and like the action adventure aspect where I'm driving through and like a patrol was driving around, and so they saw me and were following me and shooting at me. So I'm now gunning it and not driving very well in this Jeep as it is. And I'm trying to get to an area, so I'm driving through, bouncing all around, hitting things like rocks and flying over things. And I come to this bridge, and I didn't know that you could break out like the sides of it because it's like a wooden bridge. And so I totally hit the side, go careening into the water. So now like I flip my car and I'm heading down in the water. These guys are still following me. So my windshield's all cracked. I'm underwater with this car. I get out and I'm swimming and I get attacked by an alligator. So I fight that off. These guys are still, shooting at me.
Make some shoes while
they're chasing you. I don't think you can get anything from the alligator though. At least the one I killed in the water, because he just died and I didn't see him again.
The Jewel of the Nile?
No, not the Jewel of the Nile. But then I make it to the bank and I'm running through and I run away and I get away. But it was just awesome. The whole action sequence leading up to that was like super cool.
Yeah.
And there's been other times where I'm like running away and I jump in the water. I'm like, great, here comes an alligator. There's not an alligator. And I get to the other side and I'm like, this is awesome. So I'm running away and there's a fucking tiger in front of me. And then I get mauled by the tiger and I die. But that was cool too.
that was the thing because like I got attacked by that snake and then I go on my first couple missions and then there was like, oh, get a blue leaf, and I'm like, well, I know where blue leaves are at because I don't even have to look at a menu for that. It's in the water. But I'm like, well, I just got attacked by a snake and I don't even want to go in the water. And I stood like on the banks like looking.
Yeah, no, it's great.
Like looking, like, is there anything that's like ever gonna jump out at me? So I went in, got it, and got out of the water real quick.
And it is very inventive gameplay. Like it's almost like the Hitman that we talked about with being able to kind of do your own thing. So you can go in, guns blazing,
right?
Or you can sneak around and take out guys at a time. You can do takedowns if you get close enough and like kill them silently.
Yeah,
you do get skills in the game as you level up. They do push that quite a bit, and those skills greatly increase how you act. Like you can, all of a sudden get abilities that allow you to do like takedowns from above. So if you're over a guy, you can jump on him. You can do it from below. You can string them together to get higher XP. There's little bonuses that they give you like those as you go along in the game. But it's just so awesome to be able to do that on your own and make up those, do your own kind of path.
Yeah.
But when you're sneaking up on a village, like, and you're going to try to liberate it or whatever they call it, and you're sneaking, I'm crawling through the jungle or I'm, kneeling down through the jungle and I'm going through and then I'm sneaking up on the guys and I hear,
yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck is that? And so then I look around and all you see is plants everywhere, but there's a fucking tiger somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, well, this isn't good. I'm trying to get these guys. So that's awesome.
That's when you run through the group of guys and the tiger chasing you.
And that's the other thing. Sometimes you'll come up to these groups where they've got like caged animals that they're like poaching or capturing, and you can let them out. And now all of a sudden the bear or the tiger or whatever it is goes through and takes everybody out, and then you're like, the place is done. And that is awesome.
I really like how this. I'm not really. I'm not. I don't really remember Far Cry, the first one. I know I played it. The second one, I'm not at all. But there's something about this one in just like as you're learning and you're getting these different powers and you're getting. You just get this sense of learning. Whereas, like, let's say you were playing a different game and you're a character that's just Navy SEAL, but then he still has to get experience.
Right, you already should be at the.
I think this is
That's a good point.
It's a neat aspect to the game where you are green and you know right off the bat. You know right off the bat that you are green and you're not good at this. And
he's not comfortable with it.
No, he's not. Yeah, that's the audio from him is just like you can tell that he's scared. Which I thought was neat to put a voice to the guy too. I mean, other than he is kind of annoying. He's a little crybaby a little bit. But you know what? Yeah, I mean, all his friends are kind of dead. So.
That's the changing that I'm noticing with my character, though, too, where...
He's getting a little bit hardcore.
He's getting almost like where he's liking it. Like I feel like when I'm playing it, and that's kind of funny, is that I'm playing it like it's an action movie, and he's almost playing it like his character is like thinking he's in an action movie now all of a sudden, and not like he's like, this is awesome. I'm like, it's really not that awesome.
Yeah.
Like, you're killing a bunch of people.
It's only awesome for me.
Although I will say, there was an awesome moment that I had when I did this mission, and there's this music going on, and you're doing this thing that's really cool, and I'm like, this is fucking awesome. And literally, I'm not even joking, 5 seconds later, my character goes, this is fucking awesome. And I'm like, when I have the voice of my character, or the character has my voice in the game, like, that is amazing to me. Like, that is something synced up at that point where I'm like, yeah, this is awesome. I'm becoming that guy. I stabbed a guy in the neck on the way here.
I think you may have just gone into like a Mobius loop of awesome.
I did. Everything's just become like, I'm like looking around, and then there was a tiger in the other room. It became my real life. That's what happened. It all blended together. There's just a lot of attention to detail in the game as well.
Yeah.
Like, there's radio towers that you climb up, and it's kind of this Assassin's Creed moment where you get the high points where you. Yeah,
I really like that.
Unlocks the area, or fills in your map.
Yeah, it's just like, hey, go to the top of that, and then you look, and you're like, oh wow.
I will say though,
nice scope.
As you climb up more of those towers, they get harder and harder to like maneuver up.
I can imagine.
And like making jumps and climbing in areas. And they have this creaking noise going on, and it's freaking me the fuck out, and you're way up high. And then they do this thing with the camera where they make it sway, like it's off balance, so it's going back and forth when you're up high.
It's blowing in the wind.
And I seriously, my hands like sweat every time that it normally does that like when I would play Crackdown and climb stuff. But to throw in all these other elements of like putting me off my balance is like even more disconcerting to me.
When it's first person, and that's where my problems come in. But yeah, I have a hard time jumping and seeing stuff. I have a hard time like knowing how far, like depth and whatnot.
Yeah.
But like at the very beginning of the intro, and I'm running through that jungle, and like you make one jump, and then you're running and you make another jump, and there's like this log over the water.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know the log was there because I'm like running, like it's all panic mode, and so I jump. So I'm like, I gotta make it to that log. So my character, I'm like moving the camera in air. So it's weird. Like I have a hard time seeing that stuff, especially on that first. If they get harder, those towers, because that one I was like, it's like those deep breath moments. Like I hope I make it.
It gets a little rough.
Yeah,
but it's interesting.
It looks awesome.
I know that there's co-op, which is like a 2 to 4 player co-op that you can do, but it's almost like I think like a horde mode.
Yeah.
Where it's like you just have waves of guys that you got to take out. It's its own thing. It's not like you're playing in the regular game.
Bizarre.
And then there's multiplayer, which is just like the regular team deathmatch, I believe, or defend points or something like that. So I haven't messed around with either of those. They don't really appeal to me. The single player experience in this is just so wide open and beautiful that I don't think I want to run around with anything else. And I want to push the story forward and kind of see where it's going.
Yeah.
It's getting a little weird.
It is
getting a little weird. I don't know what's going on.
The whole tattoo things.
I'm
weird.
in, I've reached my third point where I've been on a mood altering or a mind altering substance, either accidentally or on purpose. And so that's been a little weird.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's a little much.
There's a lot of weed on the island.
There is.
Because you walk through it right off the bat.
I burned down a weed spot. Like
a weed spot?
Whatever they're called. a field of pot.
pot spot.
A pot spot.
There you go.
I set it on fire and I burned it. And so that was the other thing cool too, because I just got a flamethrower the other night, last night for the first time. And it didn't dawn on me that I'm in a jungle and that like the game would react accordingly. But I shot this like
the whole jungle caught on fire.
this whole area did. So I shot this exploding barrel and like all the stuff started burning. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. And so it was burning, and then it like burned this palm tree and like climbed up. So I just got to watch the fire spread and make Smokey Bear cry. But it was burning down the pot field, so it doesn't matter, right? But then
At least you didn't care.
Don't shoot a guy with a flamethrower when I'm in a wood hut, a straw hut. Don't do that. Like a guy rushed in on me, and so I just shot him with my flamethrower, and then the whole thing started on fire, and then we started on fire. You can shoot him if he's in the building and like set the building on fire, and then he runs out on fire, which is cool. But everything spreads, and it's just funny when I'm like don't realize where I'm standing, like on this dry grass, and everything spreads. But then I ran through the pot field as I was burning it, and my guy got high. It's fucked up.
That is crazy.
It was funny that they alter you that way, that they include it, but I tried to then stay away from it because basically I would go into my sniper mode and my screen would be going like completely like 45 degrees back and forth, and my sniper rifle like sights were all over the place, and it was impossible to do anything after that point. It was funny that they included it, but it was annoying.
You had the glaucoma.
Yeah, that's not what he had. Whoa, man, this is awesome. That's more what it sounded like.
Yeah, for a first-person shooter, some of those rub me the wrong way right at first, usually. But this one, the story's there,
the
and
action.
you know, I haven't had a problem because I think it's that action aspect to it. Because I'm not using my gun a lot, and I can sneak up on some of these people.
Word,
which is nice. I like that because off the bat, there's like right off the bat, there's a lot of sneaking around, and it was starting to kind of like go, okay, this is going to drive me nuts. But as you get into some missions, sneaking around at your own leisure, but then all of a sudden there's a snake biting your butt. So,
I don't know
you know,
about that.
it's that aspect to the game too. It's just like, hey, here's something because you're stalling out kind of thing. You know, and
keep
I like
it moving.
I like to sit around once in a while, let things, you know.
Then you hear that growl in the jungle.
People fall asleep or something,
and you're going to die.
You like to watch them while they sleep?
Well, then I can sneak back past them quicker.
Go up and choke them out.
No, I just can get back. Hey, I can go stealth.
Peaceful.
I can go stealth mode if they're sleeping.
You go spoon them.
Yeah,
He creeps up. I wonder what you're dreaming.
He spoons them, and then when they wake up, he slowly breaks their neck.
It's like, hey, what's up?
It's not creepy at all, is it? What are you doing, man, Shrek?
Yeah, it's like, hey.
Sleep, my angel. You pet their hair.
Oh, that's creepy. Oh, okay, you guys
Pet
are
their
creeping
hair.
me out with your whispering.
That's how I play the game. What's wrong with you?
You spoon 'em.
Which button's for spooning?
And then I ride a tiger. If I could train them, that'd be awesome. Run into like one of those villages, riding a tiger. That'd be amazing.
Guns blazing.
With a flamethrower.
Like,
I want to ride a tiger with a flamethrower in one hand and a Molotov in the other.
and just come right
And
in.
just, I'm burning this bitch to the ground, me and my tiger.
You're like, rebellion.
That's a great game.
That would be a fun game.
I'll let you know if it happens. Oh, if I could ride a shark. Land shark. Like, just take him around the coast.
See, then you just remind me of that awesome game with the walking sharks that never came out.
What?
Remember that
Colonial
game?
Marines.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Hey, maybe we can talk about that on our next episode.
Probably not. They just did a Kickstarter and that failed.
Oh,
So not going so hot.
Yeah,
for them.
no, they've been in. Yeah, I found out
But
why
they're
they
trying.
haven't come out. Yeah, they've been trying.
but land sharks.
All right. More
Fraggle Rock.
More Far Cry next episode, probably.
That's a
'cause
secret
I'm going to
level.
finish it up.
If you fall into a hole,
Fraggle Rock?
yeah, then it's Fraggle Rock.
I hope there's
Yeah.
doozers. If this whole thing is all a big
And then, you
doozer
have,
plot.
and then you have to craft things using doozer sticks.
Yes! And keep them from the Fraggles from eating them. And you got to shoot the Fraggles.
Yes.
Skin Fraggles. to make
Fraggle.
doozer sacks.
You have to make a Fraggle disguise.
Doozer stick
A little
sacks.
bit Hitman in there.
Oh,
I'm glad we could bring this all around to Fraggle Rock. Mm-hmm. I want nothing more. Ever. That's always my goal.
hey, Fraggle Rock didn't. Never mind.
What?
Nothing.
What?
I don't know where that was going, but it's probably better if we didn't know.
I know exactly. I was gonna go with my Malcolm X. You know, we didn't land.
Oh,
on
we didn't
Fraggle.
land on Fraggle Rock. Fraggle Rock landed on us.
Yeah, but that doesn't really make sense.
But we still said it anyway.
It's true. It's true.
I think the trash heap said that. All right.
She was smart.
She was sassy is what she was.
Oh, that too. Yeah.
Sassy trash heap. Signedinpodcast.com is our website.
Jim Henson like talking trash.
Find links to, well, what else was talking trash?
Well, Oscar lived in trash.
Right, but there wasn't talking trash. This was an actual trash heap that talked.
I know, but I'm trying to think. Wasn't there? Oh,
you should work on this.
Well, I'm thinking of the crazy, like the pack rat.
Put some more
the pack rat.
into it.
The hoarder from Labyrinth. But I forgot that wasn't trash. That was just a bunch of stuff on her back.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm getting there.
Smell bad. All right, should we move on? Signed In Podcast. I was trying to end it. He had to keep going. Signedinpodcast.com is our website. You can find links to our Twitter. I'm on Twitter at Signed In Podcast. Sean is on Twitter at
Shonix.
And Craig is on Twitter at
The Polist.
So follow all of us, even though I'm the most interesting one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't Twitter anymore anyway. I don't tweet anything. I've been lazy.
Am I supposed to judge you for this? Is
No.
that why you're looking at me?
No, I just didn't know if anybody had any comments to go, yeah, you're right. You suck. But apparently not. So Facebook.
I was leaving space for the listeners
You
to
can
do that.
find
for
links
you.
on our Facebook as well, or to our
You didn't
Facebook
leave
fan
enough
page.
time.
All of our past episodes, links to our forums. Like I said, we'll be putting up all of our categories for the 2012 over on the forum. So take a peek there so you know what to send us. And send us your picks for 2012 and what you're looking forward to in 2013 at comments at signedinpodcast.com. We're going to be doing that show hopefully in the next couple of weeks here. So get them to us, and we may read yours on our show. As enticing as that is, I guess. Is that a bonus? I don't really know.
To some.
Threat?
Craig made fun of me for the contest thing. We still have things to give away, and so we will be doing that.
All right.
But I didn't work anything out there, No, of course not. Why do that? Next episode, I don't know what. We'll probably talk about some more Far Cry. I can't say it. Maybe Craig will have some XCOM to talk about.
I think so.
Some Black Ops. You're going to play everything. Red Dead. You're playing all those things.
Yes.
You had 2 weeks. Get it done.
Ugh.
Do it. Nothing
you.
says fun like homework. And I don't know what else, because I don't think there's anything coming out between now and the end of the year.
It's good.
It is good.
Oh,
I wanna
there's
catch up
something
on some
coming out on
stuff.
XBLA that I was kind of excited about. Oh, it's Grasshopper Entertainment or whatever.
Oh, yeah, they have that.
Their new that Black Knight thing.
That
where
comes out
it's-
this week.
Yeah, comes out this Wednesday.
So maybe we'll have that to talk
That looks
about.
kind of cool. Wait till you see it.
Yes.
It's hard to describe.
Like everything else they do.
Yes,
You have to play it to know.
kind of puppet theater.
Ooh.
Kind
Yeah,
of.
Kind of. All right. Is that
Anyway,
it?
yes.
We done?
Yes, we are done.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.